Hello and welcome to another update video about ETH. I think we start today with taking a quick look at the daily chart. We haven't done that for a few days. We do it very regularly, but I think we haven't probably done it for a few days. So let's take a look at the daily chart first. And what I want to do then is jump onto the hourly chart afterwards, yeah, and then take a look at that. But we look at that every day. So I think for everybody who's new on the channel, who might not be aware of what's going on here on the daily chart, here is our daily chart. So we can see here that there is a so-called 1-2-1-2-1-2 setup. And in this scenario, I am watching for potentially this wave 2 to go a little lower. We have the support range between, I think I just need to slightly adjust it, between roughly 2000, I think it's a little lower, 2018 and 1978. 1678, yeah, 2018 and 1678. These are the parameters of this support zone relevant for this wave 2. What does it mean? A 1-2-1-2-1-2 setup is quite a bullish structure. Now that structure will probably start to break with a move below 1678. So ideally we don't get there. At the moment we're far away from that support level anyway. And just because it's support, it doesn't mean we have to get there. It looks to me as if we can still get a dip into the support region. But obviously the market is very, very stubborn. We need to observe that very closely. In a wave 2, we should see a deeper pullback. For example, here in October, the market pulled back to the 50% retracement level. Wave 2s usually reach the 50% retracement level in a bullish market. Maybe not so much, but then at least I like to see the 38.2 retracement level. So we have to acknowledge that pullbacks can be shallow. It is not predictable if they are very shallow. Yeah, it's just something that can only be managed with tactics. From an analysis point of view, the situation is crystal clear. I would like to see a complete three-wave structure to the downside, which we have seen already, to call a wave 2 complete. But that's only one condition. I would also like to see one that actually moves into the standard support zone to call it a likely wave 2 or a reliable wave 2, because yes, I have seen a corrective move down already off the highs on the 8th or 9th of December. But it's too shallow to be reliable. Okay, so that's the difference. So we can only align ourselves with probability. So I'd like to see a deeper wave 2. And then to really confirm that a low has formed, I need to see a 5-wave move up above initial resistance. We certainly haven't seen that. So that's all very clear from an analysis point of view. But when you're trading this, you obviously have to manage this uncertainty with tactics, you know, the uncertainty that maybe a low could already be in, but there is absolutely no evidence at this stage that a low is in. At the same time, we have to acknowledge that the price doesn't really want to come down. Now, when we look at this chart on the daily time frame, you can see that we've got here something like a trend line, yeah, which is basically holding the price. So it is something to be very much aware of, a bit of a price channel there. And especially the lower boundary line is very important, and it would take a break here sort of below round about $2,180 to break that trend line. Now let's take a look at the ETH hourly chart. By the way, as soon as the wave 2 is over, it should take us to $3,000, $4,000. Okay, not in a straight line, maybe in a straight line. Sometimes, you know, in a very bullish environment, especially a third wave rally, that could happen. But first of all, I would prefer to see a clearer wave 2 correction as highlighted here on the 1 hour chart, in which the price already moved down, what I call the A wave, then the B wave and the C wave. The B wave might get another high. There are 2 wave counts. In one wave count, the top could be in another one, yeah, we might get one more high, but essentially at the moment with the price action I see and how it all develops, I'd like to see still a move down. Now, ETH is very stubborn like Bitcoin, and if the situation develops like maybe end of October, in which we had quite a few bearish setups, which initially worked, but we never got that bearish follow through that we wanted, then these are the indicators we're observing, obviously, on a daily basis. So if we see that the market just doesn't want to come down, we might at some point have to acknowledge that the low is already in, and so prepare for a breakout higher. So that's also why I made you aware before Bitcoin broke above 30K that we might probably will see a direct breakout. Because if, for example, the price just has several bearish setups, just doesn't want to use them, then this is an indicator of a failure of the bears. And we have to be very mindful that we could see those rallies earlier than many would expect. But, you know, again, we can only align ourselves with probabilities. At the moment, I don't see evidence that a low is in. It's at least not highly probable. It can change, you know, but it's certainly not there yet. You know, I don't see it in the charts yet as highly likely. And I would just prefer to see that deeper pullback to give us a clear wave 2, A, B, C. And if we zoom into the B wave, there are 2 wave counts unchanged from yesterday. In the yellow count, the B wave could have topped. In the white count, we might get one more high, really. Now, yesterday it was looking a little bit as if we were going to come down, but now with the latest price action, it's only 3 waves down again. You know, it looks a bit like a descending wedge even, and it doesn't look like an impulse down or anything. So I'm extremely skeptical. Okay, I would certainly still allow for one more high in the white count, but it's not really a long trade setup in my opinion. I rather would see it just as an extension of the B wave, which can always happen before we start to see this C wave to the downside. So I keep you updated. We have to remain patient in these corrections. I know it is frustrating, but that's what these corrections are for, to frustrate people. So I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.